Don't get scared, get rich. Welcome back to the New Nurse Guidebook channel. My name's Pierre LaFour. If you're new to the channel, the purpose of this channel is to help new graduate nurses live healthier, wealthier, more fulfilling lives. Today's a wealth episode. More specifically, we're going into our second part of Finances 101, what to do for retirement investing. Super scary. Not really when you think about it. So, from our last equation, we have our income coming in. Let's say as a new graduate nurse, you've got $1,000 a week coming in. So then that's $4,000 a month minus $1,600 in expenses, $2,400 a month in excess income. We've zeroed out our debt. We have our $10,000 in an emergency fund saved. What do we do with the remainder money? Well, there's two things we can do. First thing is retirement. So I like to think of this like as a tax. In a lot of ways, you take this money out before it even hits your checking account. That way, you just don't think about it and you're not at risk for saving it or spending it. So, retirement investments. General advice says that you should save 20% to 15% of your income. We're going to be more aggressive and bullish on this and save 20%. So, 20% of $52,000 a year, $10,300 a year in saving. Great. So there's two vehicles that we can do this retirement investing in. We have our Roth IRA and our 401k. Fancy finance terms. It's not that complicated. Stick with me. So Roth IRA and 401k, they're both individual retirement accounts. Think of them like a big bucket that you put, there's my bucket, that you put stocks into. What's a stock? Look it up on YouTube. A stock is basically a piece of a company that you own and typically will increase in value depending on what stock you pick. So 401ks and IRAs, individual retirement accounts, they're accounts that you put money in to save for retirement. So you put a bunch of stocks or index funds, which is just a big basket or bucket of different stocks selected. And you have that investment sitting in these accounts. Cool. Basically, I'm putting money in here and not touching it till I get old. And it's in the stock market, increasing in value and all that stuff. Cool? Cool. So, Pierre, what the hell is a Roth IRA? I'm glad you asked. A Roth IRA is a retirement account that has a special system in place. So, there is a financial contribution limit, meaning I can only put in $7,000 as of 2024, and I can't put any more money in that. So when you put that $7,000 in, it gets taxed on the front end, and then it sits in this account, which I call your retirement nut. Awesome. Now the cool thing is, because you're paying this tax up front when it's going in, it's not going to be taxed when you withdraw it when you're 60 years old, which means the more you max this out and everything, the more this money you sit in this account will grow. When you withdraw it at the end, it'll be worth millions and millions, assuming you consistently invest, and you'll get to withdraw those millions tax-free. Awesome. That's really cool. One of the beauties of the Roth IRA is typically when you start off and you're maxing out the $7,000 a year, you're in a lower tax bracket, making $52,000 a year. So the amount of money they're taking out of your investment to go into here is significantly less. And when you're 60 years old, you're going to be ideally in a much higher tax bracket, which means that they're going to take more money away from you. But because you've paid this tax when you were broke and poor, making $52,000 a year, then that means that you're square with the government and you're scot-free in that regards. Now that we've kind of gotten a little bit of the Roth IRA squared away, let's jump into what the hell is a 401k. A 401k is an individual retirement plan similar to our bucket earlier of stocks and everything. With a 401k, typically, depending on your place of employment, they'll give you a match. So what does that mean? That means, let's say Hospital X says, hey Pierre, you're investing 3% of your annual income or 3% of your paycheck, we'll match you and also give 3%. So 3% of $52,000 a year is $1,560. They will match that 3% and give you $1,560. Awesome. You got a free $1,500 from your employment to go towards your retirement. That's great. The one downside with a 401k is, unlike the Roth IRA, when you contribute this money to the big retirement nut account, it's not getting taxed on the front end. What does that mean? That means when it's growing in the economy and making all this money and stuff, when you pull it out when you're old, 60 years old, it will be taxed, which means it'll be taxed at a higher income bracket. But it's still free money, and in the long run, that's going to compound, and it's like a big snowball. The more money you contribute to it, the more that money's able to buy more and make this bucket get filled up even more and more and more. And in the long run, it'll snowball into your retirement. Think about it like when you were in nursing school. You endured short-term pain of going through school for a long-term reward of becoming a nurse, having a job, making a good income, and helping other people. So let's run the numbers now based on our income. So at $52,000 a year, 20% of our income, $10,300. So that means that if we split up this $10,300, we max out our Roth IRA at $7,000 for the year, and we contribute the remainder, $2,300, to our 401k. Awesome. What does that look like on a month-to-month basis? $7,000 divided by 12 months is going to equal $583 a month. And then $291.50 every 2 weeks. So that's how much you'll be contributing every 2 weeks. And I'll explain why in just a moment. But first, let's hop over into the 401k. So $2,300, that's $191.67 a month, or $95 every 2 weeks. So why are we investing this money over the span of every 2 weeks to even every 1 week? It's a principle called dollar cost averaging. Ooh, DCA, fancy finance term. What does it mean? It means that the stock market overall is going to have ups and downs. So one of the beauties of dollar cost averaging is that you're buying into the market on a consistent basis twice a month, regardless of the ups and the downs. If you're an emotional buyer and you freak out when the market's down, you're more likely to get out when if you would have just shut up and waited 30 years, in the grand scheme of things, the market would still go up and you would be fine. So by dollar cost averaging, or investing consistently on a consistent basis, what that does is it keeps you in the game regardless of environmental circumstances and what the economy is currently doing. It's just like that analogy of going to the gym and putting in the reps. You're putting them in regardless. You just keep on doing the work. So that's the principle and philosophy behind investing every 2 weeks. So nuts and bolts, what does this look like to you on the day-to-day? Basically, every 2 weeks or every paycheck, you're going to take out $291 to go towards your Roth IRA, and you're going to take out $95 to go towards your 401k. And then you're just going to let it sit there and grow and not look at it. That's all there is to retirement investing. We can get into more complex stuff once I figured it out with real estate investing and private equity firms and all that fun stuff. But in the meantime, this is the bread and butter basics to get started with retirement investing. If you found this video helpful, please leave a like. And if you know somebody else who would benefit from this information, share it with them. If there's anything else you'd like for me to make content on, leave a comment and I'll make it in the future. This is Pierre LaFour signing off with the New Nurse Guidebook. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one.